Yeah, so
oh, we live. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. What's the deal, YouTube? It's your boy. I'm back. We're back. I'm bro out here. J Dubs with me. We got some juicy news regarding the PlayStation 5. Spider-Man. What else? Days Gone. What's The Last of Us too? We're gonna talk. So as you guys come in, let me refresh my page here. It says they're still waiting on my end, but let me see. Wait, hold on. It says I'm live.
Yeah. It says you're live.
But I don't think. But I'm not. My page is not. I don't know what the hell's going on.
It's not refreshing.
I'm saying, am I live over here? Nah. They probably going to hear. Nah, I don't know what the hell's going on. Let me see. It says I'm live, but I don't see it on the screen yet.
Yeah, it's not live.
Hold on. Wait.
Want to cancel it?
Wait, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Let me see. Hold on. It is live on my end. Oh, what? Oh, May.
Yeah, it said it ain't live.
Yeah. Wait, let's see. YouTube been bugging, man.
Yeah. Well, I got a confirmation on my phone that it's live, but when I'm
me too.
When I'm watching on my thing, it doesn't say it's live.
Yeah, I don't know what to. Let me see.
Yeah, it says you're not live. Yeah, they comment section say you're not live.
Yeah, I know, but it's live on our end. You see here it says it's live.
I see it says live on here.
Oh, let me try it again, man. Hold up.
All right.
Hold on. They're trying to keep the black brother down. Hold on, let me see. I don't know what the hell. I don't know. Yeah. All right, let me restart it. I'll be right back. Yep. Let me see something. Let me come out of here. Something. Stop broadcast. Let me close it this way. Huh? Yeah, I don't know. I'm still going to the actual show. I'm still not live. Oh yeah, I don't know what the hell going on. I see a blank screen now. Wait, is it live now? What the hell? Hold on. Yeah, there we go. We live. We live. Hold on 1 second, ladies and gentlemen.
We live.
Yeah, now we live. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. I don't know what was that about, man. They kind of silenced the brother. Yeah, I'm looking for my car key. Missy. Here you go. Wait, hold on. Shit. Yeah, they want to say hi to you. You know say what's up. Say what's up. You got the camera right there. You can say what's up. No, you can't see yourself. You got to come over some more. Yeah. I can see myself. Let me see. They can see you.
Yo.
Oh, there you go. They can see you. There you go. All right. There you go. Anyway, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. That had nothing to do with me. It said live on my end, but I don't know what the problem was. I know they have some issues over there at YouTube, or they had a tragedy going on, so I don't know what the hell's going on. But anyway, on to today's show. I got my bro here with me, Kratos, J Dubs. Introduce yourself, man. They should know you from
Yo, hey everybody, it's your boy J Dub, aka Kratos, the god of PlayStation and all things gaming. Here chopping it up with Z again. Let's do this.
Now we got some juicy information, juicy news, right?
Got some good stuff.
Now listen, I just seen actually. Shout out to my man Lenny Graham. He just sent me a link. First of all, let me say this. Shout out to everybody in the chat. If you said what's up to me, I can see on my screen now. What's up to you guys? Always get all you guys that that sponsored my trash ass channel. I appreciate it. You guys that signed up for the Patreon, the hot mic will be up today. Put that up on the Patreon. And those of you guys have been rocking out in the super chat, like I said, it means the world to me that you support, the platform and what I'm trying to do with overall the platform, the broadband bullies. Now, I got that out of the way, right? I done said my prayers, right? Now, again, like I said, I woke up kind of late today. I always do. I go to bed late, wake up late, right? Listen, for those who people get listen, I'm gonna say this. We finished what's that, Tomb Raider, the definitive edition? I kind of slept on that game, you know what I mean? Finished that. I said I was gonna start the other one. I'm halfway through Rise of Tomb Raider 2. I'm gonna give you a fair session. That's gonna be done way before God of War gets here. But so I was finishing that last night, so I went to bed kind of late. I woke up late, so I woke up Twitter jumping like children. I'm banned on Facebook again for something that happened 2 years ago. I don't know what the hell. I'm tired of Facebook. So go to my phone. Everybody's talking about Spider-Man. I guess if those people that get the game of form or digitally, whatever the case may be, was taking screenshots or something. So what's the deal with Spider-Man? With this, I said I didn't get a chance to read the article. You were more talking. What's going on with Spider-Man?
Yeah, man, they showed a new gameplay trailer of Spider-Man, and basically the Spider-Man has it's on the cover of Game Informer, and so as of tomorrow, we will not only know the launch date, but they're going to go through a little expose about what's to come inside of Spider-Man world and stuff like that. So it's going to be huge. Right on the heels of God of War, we know that's dropping this month in a couple of weeks. And then now they're talking about this Spider-Man news. I mean, that's huge. So, I mean, it made the rounds today and put some people in their feelings. But, I think, Sony's kind of playing this little game a little bit in favor of them. They control the cards right now.
So, I mean, we supposed to get the release date with tomorrow?
Yes.
We got the release date now.
Well, yeah, Yoshida gave me a call a little bit earlier. And,
Yoshida?
He hit me on the phone and say, yo, Kratos, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. We're going to drop this puppy this summer. So you got to think about this, man. We got God of War dropping in a couple of weeks. And right after that, you got Detroit Becomes Human. And then May,
what's that, May 25th?
Yes.
All right.
So you got April, you got May, and then turn around in June, you're going to have Spider-Man. Now, that's according to Yoshida. He can change his mind any day now. But, I mean, I don't know, man. Them three heavy.
Are we going to give them the exact day, or are we going to fall back on the day?
I'm going to fall back on the date somewhere. I see somebody in the chat. They got June the 22nd.
Yeah, well,
we got to go with that date. That's the date we're going to go with.
June 22nd.
Shout out to 6996 and the finest in the chat. That's what we're going to go with.
June 22nd. So, yeah. That you know what? Let me say this, right? And it's kind of, Jesus Christ, I ain't lying, man. Sony going in for the overkill right now, right? Right, check it out, right? And listen, I always say this because I know what the Xbox guys want to say. I told them everything they know, right? Those are one and done walking simulators, X, Y, and Z, right?
Yeah.
Regardless of what the case may be, and I've always said this too, even on Nintendo's side of things, that those games are huge for their platform and for their families, whether you like them or not, right? So, which is crazy, and they're very, very confident to release those AAA games back to back and not spread them out.
Exactly.
You got in April 20th, you got God of War.
Yep.
All right. Right after that, you got Detroit Become Human. Must say a month later, right?
Yeah.
Detroit Become Human. Then a month after that, Spider-Man.
Yep. Z, think about this. That's 3 games that's going to be charting on the MPD, fighting for dominance. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Three of your big hitters out there for a month a month in between each other for people to go out and fight over and get. That's nuts. You're controlling the whole narrative.
Yeah, you know what's crazy, right? And like you say, man, they say hit after hit after hit. Now, listen,
they have to be. Let me say this: for them to drop 3 major hits like this and not spread them out, that says one thing to me. That says that they're confident that they can release these games in this time frame and still have enough for the fall.
Okay. Well, here's the thing, right? Now, and to be fair, I'm gonna look at it from like I said, the glass is half empty. I think they don't have a choice but to release them. The reason why I say that because you have Red Dead coming out or in September or when it's October.
Yeah, somewhere.
September.
Yeah,
you got that. You're gonna have another Call of Duty. You're gonna have another Battlefield.
Yeah,
I don't know if any DLC or anything is releasing for Destiny. But I mean, shit. That's the, what, God, man, listen, that's big, bro. You know what I mean? I'm just keeping it funky. That's big, and listen, and again, I know people say, well, those are walking simulators, and I get it. I understand what you're saying, and maybe that may not be for everybody. I'll put it on the Xbox side of this. Like if Xbox guys got, Gears of War, Halo, and Forza. Back, and you guys be like, oh my god, they killing it. You know what I mean? And I think if any it's like if Nintendo released Mario, Zelda, Donkey Kong, back to back, it would be huge. You know what I mean? So listen, with them releasing it, we can, like I said, Game Informer has an article. I just seen the little video that they showed. Spider-Man looks amazing. From like I said, even for us that in 2019 is supposed to be what
that's their that's okay. 2019 is PlayStation's 25th anniversary.
Okay,
so that's special to them, right? They want to go out with a bang.
You say in 2019 they supposed to go out with a bang.
Yeah, that's their 25th anniversary. So something special can happen in 2019, and I think everybody kind of speculated about this before. Well, we know they got other big games like Ghost of Tsushima. They got The Last of Us 2. They got Days Gone that's been pushed back to 2019. So they have 3 big outfitters right there. And I think we all can say that right now, the largest IP in their stable is The Last of Us. I think that's their franchise game. Like, would you agree to that?
You said The Last of Us? Yeah.
That's their franchise game. So you got to realize those 3 games right there, they're dropping these 3 games right here back to back to back to back this month. Last month there was MLB. So there was a big exclusive from them pretty much every single month. You had Ni no Kuni 2. Now, I know a lot of people say, the Jap crap, whatever they want to say. It doesn't matter. That is another game, another exclusive that you will not get on any other platform. That we know right now. So 2019 is gone. It's supposed to be a bigger year than 2018. I was at PSX. Yoshida said that 2018 is going to be even bigger than 2017. And I think everyone will all agree that 2017 was like the golden age of gaming years. There were so many games dropped last year, at least from the PlayStation side. From January to December, those guys did not stop with the games, whether you like them or you love them. That's just what it was.
Well, like I said, now we can look like this generation started in 2013, right? A normal console cycle is it used to be 4 to 5 years. Then we had what happened in the 7th generation, and I still say this was very unhealthy for gaming. Sony lost a lot of money with the cell, Blu-ray, 3D, you know what I mean? And they wasn't in a rush to move the generation. Because like I said before, normally when a console generation starts, they normally get hit a PC as far as tech-wise, you know what I mean? The 360 was more powerful than PCs, and the PS3 was more powerful than PCs. X, Y, and Z, right?
Yeah.
But that 8 or 9 year console cycle, you would never see that again. Like, I'm sorry, you would never, consoles probably would never catch PCs ever again, right?
Yeah.
Then we got something new this generation with mid-gen refreshes. You know what I mean? More or less. More powerful than their previous predecessors, and plays the same games, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Pro, Sony released the Pro in 2016, and Microsoft released the X in 2017.
Yeah.
Right. Now, highly rumored that Microsoft was going to be there with their new hardware in 2020, and and you also heard some juicy news that Sony is going to. And listen, also not even just you. What you're about to say here, Michael Patrick and a few other people, said that Sony's releasing the PlayStation 5 in 2019. Now let's talk about that.
Yeah. Again, Michael Pachter, I think he was one of the first people to come out stating 2019. Keep in mind, guys, this generation started in 2013. To tell you the truth, the only reason that last gen extended long is because we had the market crash that went down in 2008. So people are not investing, people are not buying. So that kind of helped extend the generation as well. So keep that in mind. And so there's been plenty of sources out there that are stating 2019 for not only a reveal of the PS5, but a launch in the fall. And now keep in mind now that these big games, they're big hitters. The Last of Us 2, Days Gone, and Ghost of Tsushima are going to be in 2019. So it just, if based on these rumors, that would fit the mold.
So, all right. So, like I said, I heard this. Traditionally, what Sony has done, even dating back to the PlayStation, I don't remember the PlayStation 1, dating back to the PlayStation 2, they will release a big exclusive right when they're on their previous hardware, right when they were about to release a new a new console. I remember they did it with God of War 2 on the PlayStation 2. That's why I didn't get to play any of the earlier God of Wars. And the first one I played was 3. Then I went back and played the older ones, right? And then the last generation, they did it with The Last of Us 2 and Beyond Two Souls. That came in at the end of the PlayStation 3 life cycle, right?
Yeah.
Now, what we're hearing, what they're saying is that which was Days Gone and The Last of Us 2, those are going to release on the PlayStation 5 and be cross-generation, cross-gen games.
That's correct. Will be cross-gen, and that makes perfect sense. I think right now we have the architecture that fits. They're all the same architecture right now. It's not going away from that. So it is what it is. And I think they're, some guys might say, yeah, they're taking a page out of Xbox books. It's like, yeah, they are. Let's say they are. Okay, cool. I think we're at this point now where any game that you buy right now will be playable on a future generation console. And that's just kind of going to be it. That's just the mold. It makes sense. Architecture wise, it makes sense. Now, the big question, Z, is will we have any more true exclusive games where you can only play them on that one platform? Will they make PS5 only games where it will not work on the PS4 or the Pro? That is the big question.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you, right? And giving Sony and honest with I'm speaking real. Sony doesn't have the best customer service, right?
Yeah.
And it is what it is, right? I don't know. I would say this. I don't think Microsoft is going to do that. Because I think Phil's kind of been on the record of saying no longer will your games get old or nothing left behind. I believe that everything you buy on the PlayStation 4 will work on the PlayStation 5, but I don't know if they will allow you, and which I think to me will make sense. Sony, because again, these games cost so much to make and develop. Let's think about this: when the PlayStation 5 generation starts, that you don't have to wait for a install base. You can drop your heavy hitters day one. You understand what I'm saying? And have access. You already got 70 million plus console owners out there. And they can still buy the software. But again, Sony's they're in a different, I guess, space than Microsoft, and where they're more or less leaning on like the PlayStation division, to keep things afloat. So if that was the case, they're gonna want a big initiative for someone to go out and buy their newer hardware. And I don't think that having a prettier version of whatever said game will do that. You understand what I'm saying? Because if that's, I would, the Pro and the X will be both Microsoft and Sony's biggest selling platform. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't know if they're going to do that, because again, they still want you to buy the newer hardware, and I don't think but this one is 4K native, and you understand what I'm saying? I think we've been through that already. You know what I mean? For this whole with native, because I've always said this, right? And taking out whatever someone's preferred platform or choices is that I can't tell the difference between native 1080p or upscale 1080p. You understand? But I could tell what looks better graphically. I'm all about the graphics, right? Yeah. But again, I would do it. I mean, but we're the hardcore. But again, you realize this, that the casual out numbers us 10 to 1. You know what I mean? 15 to 1.
Facts.
Hold on, let me answer this. I'm sorry. Yeah, so you know what I mean? So then you have that aspect and that front deal. Like, what do you think? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but you got to realize it like this, right? So far, the only way you can tell the difference between the Xbox One X and the Pro is by Digital Foundry zooming in 400%.
But there are a lot of the titles, but some to be fair, like I know Far Cry, that one like the Assassin's Creed and the Shadow War, that they really took advantage of the
Yes, I agree.
Those are few and far in between. Yeah.
Yes. Again, number wise, they look astonishing. They do really look good. Mm-hmm. But is that, and that's the big question, right? Is a slight higher bump in resolution worth that $500 or the difference between the two when you're looking at games like God of War, Spider-Man, Days Gone? That's a good question. I think that's a good question for people to ask themselves. Now, me, a person that owns both, I just get both and call it a day.
Okay, but you know what? I think it boils down to this, right? Mm-hmm. And to be fair, now, we are what you call, again, the hardcore. Everything got to be there, and I want the best. You know what I mean? Yeah. But you have some customers or whatever just prefer the Xbox ecosystem. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then over the Pro. And then, what? And then again, it's all subjective of what one person may like. You know what I mean? For them, it's not. I'll give you an example. Like, God forbid, the biggest bot I know can't make it, right? Mm-hmm. He has a PS4 Slim or whatever PS4. And I said, why did you get the Slim and not get the Pro? Man, I don't see that big of a difference, but he went out and bought the X. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So, I guess it all boils down to a person's preference. You know what I mean? Yeah. I want the best of everything. Yeah, I'm just that guy that, I want, the best of everything.
But like you said, we're the hardcore. We're going to go and buy pretty much any and everything anyway. But there are a lot of people out there who, last generation, how many Xbox 360 gamers do we have? Around 85 to 90? Yeah, how many PlayStation we had? It's about the same thing, 85 to 90. Okay. Mm-hmm. Right now, Sony's sitting closer to around 80 million coming up, right? And then you have the Xbox sitting around 30 to 35.
Whatever they are.
That's a shitload of people left out there that has not purchased the console yet. If you look at it, so those are potential customers that haven't made up their mind. Either they're still playing Xbox 360, either they switched over, or they went to Nintendo or PC, or a combination of all. But right now, how do we? You're looking at that. There's a lot of people that haven't decided yet. So
still, you know what? Hey, you know what? I didn't think about that. Last generation. Well, you know where else too. Last generation lasted 8-9 years, right? 9 years, whatever the case. Still was going on, because even when this generation started, they were still receiving a lot of the major games from both Microsoft and Sony. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with that being said, right? So, and they still, they still are going to receive, the 2Ks, the Maddens. You're going to get those every year, right? Mm-hmm. But when did you say, if you look at last one, she said between both Microsoft and Sony, we're going to about 180 million consoles that were sold.
Let's just call it 200. Let's just call it 200.
Whatever, about 20 million, right? Yeah. And about 8 or 9 years. And just say if this generation a new generation starts in 2019.
Yeah.
Right there. I've always said this, though. Maybe I may be wrong, but I just thought that at the end of the day, everyone's gonna own everything. You know what I mean? Whether you prefer the Xbox over the PlayStation or the PlayStation over the Xbox, everyone more or less had both consoles last generation. You know what I mean? One would be your main, and one would just be for the exclusive. Whatever side of the fence you fell on, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this again. I think that Microsoft, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I don't know if it was on BGS, one of them damn shows. I said that they kind of took value from their actually hardware. Hear me out about this, right? Because I understand that they make more money in the software that they sell, but again, they're in a very unique space because they are selling hardware. They always try to equate the fact that, well, you can get Windows or Word on Apple iOS or this, that, and the other, but Microsoft's not selling actual PCs. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's the difference. Where here they are selling.
What they do now with the Surface. Yeah, with
somebody
the
actually.
Yeah,
somebody Dell. Actual. Actual PC. So so in that, like I said, they are again like I don't know if they had to maybe reevaluate that. I don't know the numbers, but what's going on? Shout out everybody in the chat. I can say this by them adding Gears of War, the Windows 10 or wherever the hell was that didn't boost the sales of the game, or Forza Horizon 3. You know what I mean? Recore. You know what I mean? And so I don't. And again, and maybe there are a few between, but maybe you might just hate the Xbox or whatever the case may be. But they may have a few games that, hey, I want to try, so I can go out and get me a $200. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or whatever the case may be. And again, the more hardware that you sell, is what's going to be the more software that you sell. You know what I mean?
You look, you got to get the people before you can sell them the software. You can't sell them the software if you haven't justified to them the hardware. And I think that's been Microsoft's problem this gen. They haven't really convinced us of why we needed to upgrade from the S, which was still a great console, and it costs like $180 now. I think some places you can probably get it around $150 on a good day. They have not. To some people, most people have a 1080p. They have a HD TV now. Most people do not have a 4K TV. So if you don't have a 4K TV, it's going to be harder for someone to justify you spending $500 to upgrade to the X. And Microsoft has not sold us on that, right? They came out, they told us a bunch of specs and stuff that most technical people, non-technical people won't understand. 326 gigabytes of bandwidth, such and such, teraflops and gigawatts and all this stuff. To the average Joe Blow, they don't know that. What they know is when you show them the Spider-Man, the God of Wars, and the Days Good, the stuff on TV, even the Gears and the Forza Horizon, when you show them that, that's how you sell them. They're visual. People are very visual. So those specs mean nothing if you haven't shown them the visual.
Now we can do this, right? To be fair, that same probably can be said from Sony, and maybe that's why the standard PS4 is outselling the Pro with 4-1 or 5-1. You know what I mean?
Totally agree.
You know what I mean? And I will state the case for both. And again, I will admit I don't have a problem when I was wrong. I remember Phil came out there and said that the S will be their #1 selling console. And I was looking at it like, damn, like who doesn't have an S by now that wants one, or whatever the case may be? You know what I mean? I'm just being real.
Yeah.
And I like I said, I'm a very shallow man, right? And I understand that. I got to call speak. Sony has the better exclusive, hands down. Right now, they're firing on all cylinders. Even like I said, I'm really looking forward to State of Decay 2. You know what I mean? And I hope it's what I expect it to be. Yeah. I would take State of Decay. Hold up, on the Ravenflow. Hold on, I'm just seeing Xbox won't get those customers unless they develop games. I'm sorry, I'm just not seeing your thing in the super. I don't know why. YouTube is bugging today. So, but anyway, as I was saying, so Jesus. I'm sorry. So, like I said, they have both of them have did a shitty job at this, right? So, but anyway, you can't deny the fact that Sony, I'm sorry, that Sony right now has the better exclusives. Meet you like in 2 minutes. You hear me? I'm gonna give me like 2 minutes up. So Sony has the better exclusive. You can't deny that, right? Yeah. Hands down. But right now, Microsoft have the better versions of the multiplayer. Now, there are a large contingent of people that just care more about the multiplayer. And everyone's screaming right now, Far Cry 4. So they really did their thing. I haven't played any Far Cry game whatsoever. So I'm looking forward to checking it out. And I got this big back catalog of goddamn games I'm trying to get through. I'm trying to finish the story there. Then I'm gonna go to Shadow War that you went to. Like I said, I'm trying to get it in before God of War comes out. And
then
I'm just my chest. You know what I mean? But like I said, you know what I mean? That can be said on both ends, to be fair. You know what I mean? But
it could be easy.
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
And I'm gonna ask you a question. And maybe I wasn't denial about this. Fuck, I'm gonna get y'all want the truth? Y'all want this non-diabetic game and you're about to get it. Let me ask you a question, right? And listen, let me choose my words wisely, okay? But I am gonna say this again, right? And just me knowing business, I told jokes all the time. I have my own little mom and pop store in the hood. That was like my, I had several little video games. True story, I had a little video game store. So just me knowing business. And all my businesses have not always been the most legal. I'm here to say that, right? I'm a God-fearing man now, and Jesus died for my sins. With that being said, right? I just, like I said, always had, a deep understanding, I say more or less, for business. And just me being a gamer or the core of what made me an Xbox guy. And maybe I have that advantage over a lot of people here on YouTube. Maybe I'm going to be showing my age. I'm a little longer in the tooth, but I said this before at the end. Going back to the 6th generation, right? And what made me an Xbox guy, because believe it or not, I'll say this again, I was more of a Sega guy than a Nintendo guy. And I remember me walking into it was EBX Games, I believe it was.
EB Games.
Funko-Land? No, was it Electronic Boutique? Whatever the hell it was. EBX, whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
And I didn't even, like I said, I've always been a gamer, but now I really pay attention to what's going on. I didn't even know that Sega came up with a new console, or even there was a PlayStation. You know what I mean? And I walked in back then, like I said, Sony was the Apple. You know what I mean? They were very popular with the Discman still. And I don't know what made me choose the PlayStation over the Saturn. I know it was $50 cheaper, but money wasn't an issue, right? Especially back then. Well, I got about 15 racks in my pocket walking in, boom. And I ended up going back and getting the Saturn because I liked the Virtua Fighter and stuff that they had in the arcade, right? Yeah. But so I digress, right? So, and I bought that. I bought all the games. Like I said, I was more of a Sony guy. You know what I mean? And, the Saturn, the Sega kind of, Saturn kind of, I actually lost all, the Madden games and stuff. Then the Dreamcast came out. Bought that day one, SoCal, but this, that, and the other. Then the PlayStation 2 came out. And it was like, then they wasn't getting any like multi-plats and stuff. I just had that for the school, so I was more PlayStation, right? But then, like I said, true story, out in the hood, I was up Dayton Street, which is up the street, the other project up the street from Seth Borden. And the white dude came through looking like Kid Rock with a station wagon. I don't know who credit card he had, but we all went to Toys R Us, gave him a bundle of smack, and get what y'all want. I don't know I didn't even know what the hell this was. I was in the what the hell was I was going to get some games to get some new console for Microsoft, and I said, I already got a PlayStation, so I grabbed the Xbox, right? Bought it home. I got a DOA Reckless and that, but what then I found out I could put my music CD in and rip it to the hard drive. Oh shit! And then it's me, but getting my magazines. I saw Arnold for they was looking for beta testers for Xbox Live, and that would really, the fact that I ain't got to go to your house and play. Remember that old school? Come on, play Madden with me. What no more of that? I can actually sit in my house, talk to you, curse out. That blew my mind. That was like, oh, yes. That was something different. Like, I mean, I understand they had online gaming before.
That is what Microsoft brought to the table from the PC, the whole chat.
That was ill to me. Like the fact that I can talk to you like a telephone, that blew my, I couldn't really wrap my head. Like, look at it. I'll call on listen, I probably got about Microsoft about 50 cells from me in the hood. Yo, come on, look. And everybody was online, cursing this, that, you don't even, everybody say, I don't have a computer. I said, you don't need a computer. Just plug the Xbox call cable. We had cable and then no gateway. Plug it back in because I ain't had no computer either. Boom, right? Sold on Xbox Live, right? Yeah. And then again, like I said, it's looking at, and I always said the exclusives that they had then, whether, in these games weren't even online. You had the Shinu series, Panzer Dragon, Togi, all types of shit, Advent, Rising, Brute, for everything. I like the Bruce Lee, Buffy the Vampire. You had all these different games. I tell people then, like, people kind of looked at believe it or not, the Xbox or the as more of the hardcore console because of the games, and it had great Japanese support. Believe it or not, the Xbox then had great Japanese support. And what made and again, to be fair, what made the PlayStation so great was that the fact that the multi-platform modes that we have today, they were all exclusives or more or less time exclusives then, and they did come to a rival platform. Came like a year and a half later. And he said the Raven in the 90s, Sony was equivalent to Samsung today. Actually, they were a little bigger than Samsung back then. They were like really like the Apple.
Yeah,
you know? they were
the Apple.
Yeah, hold on. We got another question. My man RDV, he said 1.8 over 6. We gonna be bug checking out right now, Joe. I don't know why I can't see them as they come up. So I'm not avoiding. I can say, all right, okay, well, okay. I must need more. So anyway, you know, and that's what made them great. But I even said, I remember when I always tell the story that I was talking to South, and that's so South. I said, you know what? I had more faith in the product when they were getting stomped out 15-1. You know what I mean? I remember they did 1-1 when I think they won 2 months or whatever. When Halo 2 came out, and you know what I mean, I remember the first time they ever turned a profit with the Xbox division. And I mean, this one before I wasn't online, I was in, I think, either GameSpot and the system wars, and then arguing and stuff, you know, system the console war. So anyway, right? Then, so now we got this new regime and this new console, right? And I you know, I noticed something different. I know that the messaging, and I feel like they shot themselves in both feet at the start of the race. I would say it was maybe just stuck to their guns, and it is what it is. You know what? I don't want to always be online, but you know, now we don't have a problem with always online game. I always say it's not what you say, it's how you say it, and their messaging was, you know, they didn't explain the benefits of. But shall I digress, right? So, and then they started doing little things. I remember they closed a whole bunch of studios. The studios that made Max Curse of the Brotherhood, they started closing a lot of little studios, right? I'm like, damn, I didn't say nothing to them. I think scratching my head, like, what the hell going on here? Then they, you know, then Lionhead got the boot and this, that. I'm like, yo. And I swear, I listened. I haven't spoken to South in a while. And I was telling South, I'm like, yo, I don't know what's really hood, but it's looking kind of spooky of this bad when we just down to, you know what I mean? I understand you have, because they always try to mix and mince my words. I said it's bad when we're just down to guaranteed getting a Gears, Forza, and a Halo. I understand that other games came out, like such as, you know, Quantum Break, but we're not guaranteed to get a sequel to those games. We're in a very, very bad predicament, right? And but listen, I was saying this in 2016, right? And maybe 2015, 2016, right? And now you see everyone saying today that they're going to give them to E3, and you know they get on me. What you guys just calm down at E3? The fact that you're saying that you're going to get your preferred company to a showing, let's let you know that something is wrong.
Yeah.
How did we get here? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The fact that you're even saying is wait to E3 is, you know, you know, like damn, you know what I mean? And you know, well, your preferred company that you know that you love or whatever the case may be, that you're gonna give them to 2 months and they don't show, then you're out or whatever the case. My thing is, how do you correct the steps before that even happens? Or you know, you understand what I'm saying? Like
it's just like being in a football game, right? You're losing in a football game, and you know your favorite team is just down and out, and then halftime come, and then you say, well, just give them to the third quarter to come back in the game after they're being beat by so bad. It's just like that. But now it's the fourth quarter. We're 5 years into this thing.
Yeah, it flew by, didn't it?
We're listen, this is what Sony's doing right now. They're in their peak, they're in their prime. Damn. Their biggest titles of this generation is upon us.
Forgive me, PlayStation 5 sinned.
It's upon us. So and guess what? After all of these games come, then we know next year you got another big 3 major games at least, right? So we still don't know what Sony's gonna come out with and what they're gonna offer for the next couple of years or whatever, but we'll wait for E3 for that. But we don't have to. We know what we're getting now, and we know we're gonna get next year. Right now with Microsoft and the Xbox, we know we're getting what? State of Decay coming up.
Yeah, State of Decay.
And that's, I mean, you know, for whatever it's worth, I'm gonna get that.
Forza Horizon 4, yes,
and Crackdown,
and Ori and the Blind Forest 2 is probably gonna get next year.
Yeah, but come on, like people will always compare to your nearest competitor. When you go car shopping, you go to a Honda dealership. You know, you look at and see what they offer, and then you go over to Toyota and see what they're offering. People will always compare. But when you're comparing what Sony has right now and what's among us and what they have in the future that they've showed, and you look on the other side, it's grim. And I know people are saying, well, wait to E3, you know, and then they'll say, wait till games come, and then they'll say, wait to come. And then I think lately guys have been saying, well, just wait till next generation.
Yeah.
Have we failed so low in expectation where we're willing to give a company that you've just spent $1,500 to $2,000, 3 consoles in 4 years, and now you're telling me you're going to give them to the next generation when they launch another system?
You know what? I mean, at the end of the day, we can talk about this is true. What I've learned, even me doing this here, right? We can point out, the things that that are wrong or whatever. No, and listen, no platform is 100% perfect. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sony has this shit. Microsoft has this shit, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't like to bring the Bible in, and you can like point out to someone like, hey, maybe this here is fabricated and it came from much older culture, and they won't believe it, right? Yeah. They won't believe it. Don't give a what you say, nigga. Yeah. It is what it is. Some people just don't care that much enough. Again, then you have a lot of still casuals that are on the Xbox, right? Yeah. They just care to play duty or whatever with their friends, and they're fine with that. You know what I mean? They're fine with that. And it's like not to me. I always said that exclusive gives the console its identity. You know what I mean? Yeah. At one point, I'm saying was crazy, right? And then maybe they understand this. Microsoft, the justification of having the 360 or whatever over the Xbox One because they had a better online service. And is PSN as good as Xbox Live? No, I'm not going to say that, but it's comparable. You understand what I'm saying? So what your voice chat maybe more crystal clear on, you know what I mean? Yeah. So the things that Microsoft used to really go out there and brag about and thump their chest about, when our numbers are up on Xbox Live and this, that, and the other. But now your competition has trophies, they have party checks. Maybe they don't do it as well as you, but it's comparable. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. But see, now what's not comparable, and again, it's the list of AAA games or of what we got. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. You're getting the same multiplayer. Actually, now Sony's getting the marketing deals. They're doing the theme consoles. Which was more or less how you said money hat, or they get mad at Microsoft for. So what do you like? My thing is, again, and I'm gonna say this. You are Microsoft, and maybe they are in judged at a higher pedestal than anybody else. They have more money than God, right? Or whatever the case, right? Yeah. And I've always said this: how can you have Sony, and we all they went through their hardship and their woes at the start of the generation, or whatever the case may be? They're still out there out hustling you. You know what I mean? Yeah. And listen to what I'm saying, right? Because people, and again, the Xbox guys, I got to put you on, got to call you out. I'm not going to say any names, but don't apply to the fly. Well, see, Phil had to take in the power narrative and this, that, and the other. No, nigga, that started in 2012. But we're not going to go there again, right? But here it is. How could Sony, again, give us a Pro, a Slim, VR, still more exclusives, still more third party, and still better marketing? Facts. Do you see what I'm saying with this? You know what I mean? And again, what I'm saying is not nothing new. I've been talking about the marketing and crap them guys used to argue me outside them guys. Hey, well, I seen the Xbox commercial on The Price is Right. What the fuck? Like, I'm about to pull my hair out. You know what I mean? Yeah. How are they still out hustling you? You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. I don't, and I'm gonna say this for real. And that's being a fan. I don't get any money from this or whatever. But people get behind these consoles like they did their favorite sports team. It seemed like it came to a point that I want them to win more than they want to win. And I'm being real. Sony and Nintendo, I don't really care for Nintendo. They want to win. They're hungry. And with this, I feel like Microsoft, they just want to be there. You know what I mean? They're okay with being in second place. I don't. They probably would never win another NPD. They're just cool to being in second. You understand what I'm saying? Whatever the case. And again, kudos to them. And outside of the fanboy, thing they can say. But look, like we talked about yesterday on BEASTFIRE. That rumored that has it that they're coming out with a Forza go-kart game next year. So that a new Forza, a 7, 8 one. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I didn't want to show the emails, but anyway, Studio Gobo, they're working, they signed the contract, whatever the case may be. It's supposed to be a Forza kart game that we're supposed to get with our avatars. You know what I mean?
So again, what is up with the cartoony game direction? It seems like they're going in. Is that a trend that they're gonna? That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Now this is, like I said, is heavily rumored. If it is true, I think it sucks. Like that when we talked about it yesterday on Xbox BEASTFIRE,
I'm saying that's not your lane. Sony tried it with their go-kart thing and got their teeth kicked in. You know, they tried it when they tried to copy Smash Brothers. That's not your lane. That's what Nintendo does. That's, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I always say too, like it's like the Xbox, they're going through an identity crisis. You know what I mean? That's not your thing. That's not what your core asked for. You know what I mean? Yeah. What your core is asking for a remake to Sunset Overdrive 2, Quantum Break, and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. No one's asking for a go-kart racing game. You know what I mean? With big game aperture, that's not. And again, maybe it may not be true, but look, like I said, from the points of the emails and stuff right here behind the scenes, that they're making a kart game, you know, for next year. Yeah. And I'm sitting again, I'm scratching my head, and I'm so I didn't. No one said that I didn't buy a pay the bills. I got to pay the bills. I didn't see nothing slide past. Okay. As Ron Lamont said, Spider-Man release date before Crackdown. That's an L. You read about that? You know what I mean? So again, like I said, no one asked for that, and I don't know. Like I said, you know, or even then with Shannon Loftus, with her, like I said, the direction for her to come out and say that, you know, Recoil's on the level of a Halo and a Gears. That lets me know right there they don't know what the. Let me say some shit. I'll let you talk. Yeah. That here you have Sony barely says anything to anybody on Twitter or anything, right? Then you got Phil and those guys interacting with the community and all in Xbox Live parties, cool, right? Yeah. And they say that we hear you guys, we know what we want, right? We know what you guys want, right? Yeah. Then they come up with the Inside Xbox show yesterday. Last month, trash. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I don't know. I don't know. Like they just throwing shit at the wall and see what sticks. I don't think they know anymore. You know what I mean? They need to go on. They need to go back to, you know what I mean, what made them what they are. But here's the thing: I don't think they can go back to that. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's Z. One thing my dad told me, man, is time waits for no man. Time waits for no man. I don't know. Like you said, they're trying to rebuild themselves. They're trying to figure out what sticks, what people want. I've ultimately said this. I've said this plenty of times on plenty of podcasts. I necessarily, I like Phil, I like Aaron, I like Mikey Barr, I like those guys, but they're not the men. They're not the guys that need to come in and run the show. I think somebody should have came in, clean house, and say, look, these guys are here. They're looking for games. They're looking for big blockbuster games and stuff that made the Xbox 360 a force to be reckoned with. And I remember when I found out about the Xbox 360, first thing I saw was that commercial showing that big, 10-story tall creature coming out, and and that's something I've never seen in the game before, a creature of that scale. So that's a system seller. I gotta play that. I gotta buy that. They're not giving us system sellers. They're, when I ask my Xbox friends, why do you like Xbox? The first thing they say, oh, because it's where my friends are, the party chat, everything else outside of the games. The games is like the last thing they mention, even if they don't even mention anything. So it's I don't know, man. And I've been playing Halo since I was in college. So shit, I mean, how much longer do I still have to play Halo? It's time for something else to take that reign. Look what Sony did with Uncharted, right? They came out with it last generation. They made a couple of games on that platform. They made one on this platform, and then they say that's a wrap. We're not gonna bleed this thing running into the ground. We did what we got to do. We got the money out of it. Now we're gonna invest in other things. You have to be able to walk and chew gum at the same time. And I think some of these guys that are taking up for Microsoft are saying, oh, they had to do this because of that, and they had to do this. They took care of the hardware. Now they can focus on it. You don't have that luxury when Nintendo and Sony are doing both at the same time. You don't think they're working on PlayStation 5 or the next version of VR or all of these other next generation exclusives and stuff at the same time? They have to do all of that. Why can't Microsoft do that? They're one of the richest companies in the world. They're in the probably top 5 richest companies. Top 5, top 3, yeah, for sure. It takes nothing for them to just say, look, we're just going to hold the L. We're just going to take, let's say, $5 billion. We're just going to throw at it, and let's just go buy up all the studios we possibly can. Let's create our own, and let's just keep running at this stuff. There is no sense we shouldn't have a Rise 2 and all these other sequels to the games. Uncharted 1 didn't do major numbers, but Sony, as we've known from NAC 2,
They will take a game that flop and try it again until they successful with it. And that's the thing about it. But you got to realize this, Z. This is one thing I've always said. The reason Sony and Nintendo are successful is because they're hungrier. But not only that, Sony specifically, PlayStation division is their bread and butter.
Yeah.
PlayStation division don't thrive, the whole company goes under. So this is why they have no choice but to throw everything at it. They're vying for their lives, for their livelihood. So they're gonna invest in games and VR and everything else. So even when the Pro, you know, again, it's selling on par with the adoption of 4K TVs, the same as the X. The X is selling at the same rate as people are buying 4K TVs. You can't expect people to go out there and buy more 4K systems than there are 4K TVs. So we've known this. Same thing happened last generation when you had that switch over to from the 360 and the PS3 with HD. When we went from standard definition to high definition, it was that same adoption rate. But we're in a unique position right here. You have two companies. You have Nintendo. You have Sony that are catering to their fan base. They're doing whatever they can. If you don't like Nintendo, you don't like the cardboard, the Labo, you don't have to. But guess what? Their base have said we like that. Keep giving us these games and you know the Marios.
Let me pay the bill real quick. Classic Love, please shout out to you. He said that new Spider-Man gameplay. That's what do you call it? Game Informer just released a little minute trailer. They were talking. It does look sick. I give him that. Yeah. It does. It does.
There's no downplaying.
What's up, brother?
Right? Spider-Man is the biggest comic character in the world.
Yes,
one of the most recognizable characters in the world. Probably more so than Mario, if not a little bit less than Mario. How do you compete with that? How does Microsoft compete with these games coming out this year? How do they compete next year with The Last of Us 2 and Days Gone and Ghost of Tsushima? Is it another Forza? Is it another Halo and the Gears? Are those enough in this day and time to combat new games, not sequels, right? But new games. And that's a big question. That's a question mark, you know.
I said nigga do tell. I don't know. I to be honest with you, I don't know. Hold on, let me pay the bills right quick. My man Marjol Sims, nothing but the truth, Kratos. End of the day, I don't know if they can. He said I can't see the panel members. I don't know why. YouTube been bugging. I don't know. They got me stuck up in the screen now.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's only two of us in here. I don't know what the hell's talking. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, so I don't know if they can.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, you know, I mean, maybe it's next generation, and I heard all types of stories, you know, with Tony Myerson and he wouldn't, whatever happened. You know what I mean?
That how does all of that story behind the scene, right?
Yeah.
What does that matter to the gamers? At the end of the day,
it doesn't.
At the end of the day, the only thing I care about is what games are being delivered to my platform. That's all I care about. And again, hit after hit after hit after hit after hit after hit. Eventually that's going to wear. I think it's going to wear on Microsoft. Now this is the big question. Do Microsoft do what Nintendo did? Go and carve out their own niche and just stay in their lane? Or do they try to compete with the high end, which is with Sony right now?
Okay. Hold up. You know what? That's a good question. Hold up. Damn, that's a good one, Jay. Tried to go. He said it took Rare many years to perfect how thirsty these Xbox are for Phil. Just look at that water. Like, damn, man. They were tripping about that water. Look at the water. They looking about the water right here. They was I was bugging about that water. But look, right? Actually, the Classic Love, actually, Nintendo was more hungry than Sony. I just seen yours. That's from Classic Love. Let me say this, right? And to answer your question, I think you're absolutely right that they're trying to their own way, in their own lane. You know, and I'm not to sound cliche as this service box, and not to excuse them. I think Microsoft, which I think is a problem, they're looking at the bigger picture, and you know where the industry may be headed. You know, as far as streaming, whatever the case may be. And I said this. I know I said this on BGST. You know what I mean? Me being a hardcore gamer, or whatever the case may be. I would rather Microsoft's focus on getting this console shit down packed first and taking care of my needs and whatever before they try to branch off and do other things. You know what I mean? Before we try to become the master of many, become the master of one. You know what I mean? And I know maybe that may not make them the most money. And sometimes, like I said, I think Microsoft is too good at business. You know what I mean? And they just not going to do it. Now, again, with that being said, like you said, right? I think that they are going to try to maybe just do their own thing. They say, hey, Nintendo is selling in boatloads by doing their own thing. Maybe we can do our own thing. Like I said, if the rumors are true that they're making a Forza kart racing.
I'm sorry, I'll be the laugh, but
no, it's laughing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I mean. I may joke when I may like tell my diabetic gaming. Oh God, that's not for me. That's what I said. We go back to they don't know what their core wants anymore. And I understand, like I said, I'm saying this. I understand the casual outnumber the core 25-1, but your core kind of sets the standard or the trend, and then everything else is adapted. That's not your lane. You understand what I'm saying? It didn't work for Sony trying to do it. It damn sure ain't gonna work for you. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. If they listen, this is all rumor. If this is true, what's going on, CO clerks and those guys in the chat? That's not your thing. That's not your lane. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like you're like, come on, man. Like I don't know. I know there's some people that made like a kart racer or whatever the hell with your big avatar bobblehead. Like I don't know. You know what I mean? And listen, maybe they saw the success of Hot Wheels on Forza Horizon, which was dope. You know what I mean? A little extra, like that was hot. You know what I mean? The little expansion of Hot Wheel things kind of give you a blast from the past. You know what I mean? But I'm not like this, baby. You know what I mean? Like not like this. Don't you know what I mean? Like I don't know, bro. This shit is spooky and spooky about a day.
It is. Man, I would hate to see the brand of Xbox to go down this avenue. It's kind of sad right now because we really don't know where this thing is going, right? And there's a bunch of guys out there that are just willing to follow. They're walking the plank to their own demise. Let's face it, man. I don't care who you are, man. You all want to see games like Spider-Man and you all want to see those big type games, man. You do. So let's stop it. If we all just band together and tell Microsoft, look, no, do what you got to do, get back in the game, spend that money, create the stuff like your competition. When all fails, just copy. Fuck it. You know, and you got the world's most powerful console. How about putting some out there that actually uses it? You sold us on all these specs and this high-end system, you know, multiple times. You sold us on this. Now take advantage of it. And I'm not talking about giving me old Xbox 360 games that I've played for the last 15, 20 years. I'm talking about giving me stuff that the competition is giving me. There is no way that Nintendo should be able to drop a $299 system and have people more interested in it than yours. There is no way that a goddamn cardboard box is more appealing than your $500 box. There is no way that Sony can drop all of these games month after month after month and you have nothing to fight back with. That we can't accept that, man. And I think that's the thing about it, right? We've gotten too intertwined with these executives and talking with them and goofing off with them. That's the okie doke. You know, I love feeling them, but at the same time, they turn around and give you a half cracking. Now, you know, that's we should not stand for that because I guarantee you, if Sony and Nintendo did it, we wouldn't accept that. So let's not do that.
Hey, I'm gonna say before we get the hell up out of here. When that show, when I listen, I ain't gonna say no names. Maybe we was just upset drinking. When that show that said the cracking was lacking, that showed that body the cracking. Oh yeah. They said I'm got personal. I went too far now. They said, see, you want to get personal? You went too far now. I swear, yo. When I said the cracking was lacking.
Oh man.
They said I went too far with that one, man. But like I said, for those who just joining, we talked about PlayStation. I'm sorry. Spider-Man release date rumored at 6/22/2018. You got God of War April 20th, 2018. Month later, you got Detroit Become Human May 25th, 2018. The month after that, they hitting you with Spider-Man. And also, we also talked about Days Gone, The Last of Us 2, was it Ghost of Tsushima?
Yeah. Are
going to be next cross-gen titles that's going to release on both the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 4. They said he heard from a very valuable source. My man, shout out to Carlos Fernandez. Consistency is the key, and Microsoft has lost that this gen. Let's be honest. You're absolutely right. You know what? I'm gonna say this too. Hold that. I'm gonna get the question right there. We also talked about that. Cross-gen titles, and heavily with the Sony is going to show off most likely the PS4, 5 next year, and it's going to release next year. To answer your question, Carlos, and to add on to that, and I got to piggyback off something that Mighty Mo said. And I had to come to terms with him. And something when he said that, as far as Microsoft and the talent that they have, right? That we didn't really feel it, the lows last generation, because in between your Halo and your Fable and your Forza, they had great second party deals. If you think about it, Gears was a second party deal. Epic made it before they even owned the IP and bought the IP. You had Gears, you had Ninja Gaiden, Human, Mass Effect. They had all these 99 nights. They had all these other exclusives to fill in the gap. AAA games, I mean, in this generation, we didn't get that at all. So, that's why you had games like Alan Wake, Splinter Cell, that was exclusive. You know what I mean? They had these great games to fill in the void and the gap between us not getting anything. Well, from them that they actually made and developed themselves. And like I said, this generation, they totally went away with that. And now they're trying something new. To me, like, see if these look so bad or whatever. The fact that everyone's saying that, hey, they've taken the shackles off Rare, and Rare can go out there and make what they want to make. And for them to deliver that in 4 years, you look and sit back scratching your head like, you know what I mean? And I've never been a big fan of Rare. I don't like the art style and whatever the case may be. And maybe see it, these may have never been for me. But again, for it to be lacking in content like that, like, look, you guys couldn't make a whole body to the Kraken, you know what I mean? Or whatever the case may be. Look, give you an example. I was shout out to Nethus. Would have been a good addition for Sea of Thieves. What's my man name? What's the fighter name from Killer Instinct, the bone guy?
What's his name?
Whatever his name is, he could have been a boss battle up there, something. You know what I mean? Like, this is just lacking, you know what I mean, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
He said, Only Warriors said, shut up. I think my man here from North. Only, I think that's you, ain't you? The type of one of that's you. He said, next gen Xbox needs studios that can compete with Sony, ATM. I don't know. And well, here's the thing. Like I said, maybe just they're lacking their talent or willing to spend. Spinal, guy named Spinal. They brought some, the fighter name was, they could something so much they could have done with that. Von Lamont said, don't forget Sony PG-13 games is Spider-Man, which is spooky, scary and spooky on Microsoft. And again, not everything's about killing them, bang bang.
Look, when has Spider-Man ever killed anything? Come on, let's.
It's not what I'm saying, but it still looks good. But compared to what we're getting from Microsoft, when you know, I mean, you're absolutely right. You know what I mean? So. Listen, I forgive me, Sony, for I have sinned. I found the error in my ways, man. I'm here begging for humble forgiveness, man. Well,
I tell you what, Z. I tell you what, man. It's you got God of War, right? That you've been saying for years. That's your biggest game, probably ever.
Yeah,
you got that dropping, and right behind that, you got Detroit Become Human. Even if you can't rock out with that, that's still a graphical, demanding game that showcases the power of your purchase, right? That's what we buy this stuff for. We want it to look good on our, $3,000 4K TV. Then you backdoor with Spider-Man. Then I mean, it's you've gotten that, and then if you're into baseball, right, you got MLB, and then if you're into your Japanese stuff, you got Ni no Kuni and all. We can keep going back for all other stuff. And then what you got coming next year and at the end of the year. You got Days Gone. You got Death Stranding. That's Kojima. I mean that game that looks dope. You got The Last of Us 2, which is by far probably one of the best games, or probably going to end up being one of the best games of the generation. Just like the last one was the best of the generation. And then you got Ghost of Tsushima. And we're not even going to get started with VR. You may start getting into that. I mean, it's so much stuff they can hit you with. I don't understand how they're able to walk and chew gum, and yet Microsoft will tell you they hear you, but at the same time they deliver some like the Sea of Thieves, and I'm hoping and praying, man. I really hope and pray that State of Decay 2 is a really good game. I hope it get 85, 90 rating, because right now on the Xbox side, we really need something like that. They need a W. That's what they need right now. It seems like every little W they try to get, Sony comes out and step on the back of the head.
Hey yo, listen, man. Let Earth receive this king. Let everyone good fast. Hey, listen, yo, check it out, right? Uncle Teddy, stop it, Uncle Teddy. Look, check it out, right? At the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
Let me get my composure back. To Nick Patel, right? Let her stop it, Uncle Teddy. Right? At the end of the day, right? When it's all said and done, when my heart can beat no more, and when I meet my demise, and I'm standing there in front of the pearly gates, I just pray that Yoshida, King Kukuraba, forgive me for my sins, man. That's all that I can say. I bet on the wrong goddamn horse. Literally, I bet on the wrong goddamn horse. You know what I mean? I listen. Sony got the motherfucking stallion. Microsoft did with a goddamn donkey. You know what I mean? Like, listen, they out there with a donkey with motherfucking with about 25 billion on his back. You know what I mean? Here's Sony got the fastest horse in the universe with $2 in his pocket. Smoke them. Smoke them. You know what I mean? Here there's Sony selling buildings to keep the lights on, bar from Peter to play Paul. I'm out there teasing. I don't know how in the hell did that happen. You listen, man. This is what I just think about it. Here at the start of the generation, Sony sold how many buildings and how many fax machines to keep the lights on?
Exactly.
Man. With that being said, man, is there anything you want to see if we get the hell up out of here, man?
No, I think we covered it all, man. Again, folks, I mean, we eating over here, so it's a buffet. We got some contracts floating out there. So
hold up, my man Marquis Goodwin says, Z, I know you my mans, but why the hell is this musty engine false god on the mic? God damn it, talking about June shit. Yeah, to keep you safe from Uncle Teddy, man. To keep Uncle Teddy in check. You know what I mean?
Hey, man, Z signed that contract, so we got to make sure he at least put one pony on the show once a week. That's part of the
listen, but all jokes aside, right? Can't nobody with a straight face, right? Look, I mean, I'm just being real, like, and say that can't give Sony their props. You understand what I'm saying? Or what they're doing over there, you know what I mean? And what we're getting over here, you know what I mean? This is subjective, whether you like those walking simulators or not. They are at a better quality, I said, you know what I mean? Than we're getting, you know what I mean? They're getting, whether you like lobster tails or whatever the case may be, we getting straight fast food. They've been left in the grease for 3 days, man. And again, when I said this, whenever a lot of people hits, for us not to have a game in, new game in about 2 years, Sea of Thieves wasn't the answer, Had we had other stuff in between then and then got Sea of Thieves, it wouldn't, like he said, the blow wouldn't have been so hard, you know what I mean? You understand what I'm saying? Now, let's check it out. Now, we'll say this. I understand that Sea of Thieves may grow, would continue to add content and all types of crazy stuff to it. I get it, and I understand that, you know what I mean? But for the game to launch like it did, and what so little content, it's kind of like, 4 years, my niggas? 4 years, you know what I mean?
Z.
Yes. Last
year, Phantom Dust, Voodoo Vince, and that was pretty much it, okay? They
Disney Rush, Zoo Tycoon,
They released that, right? Compared to all of the games that Sony. I'm not even going to go down that list. This year they starting out. They brought what? Sea of Thieves. That's their first one. It's looking spooky already. I mean, they starting off on the wrong foot.
Oh man, we got some breaking news here. This is somebody threw Hardy off the show. I don't give a fuck about that shit. I don't know what the hell going on over there. We got here harsh reality. So you guys just wanted to bank on a work in progress. Sony sells y'all on trailers Hey man, it's not. Listen, I'm trying to. First of all, Harsh, I thank you for contributing to the show. It's not so much on trailers. We don't know anything about what Microsoft has. Like, I'm just being honest with you. You know what I mean?
It's all about track record.
Yeah, they don't. We don't. And what they've given us, and just me being a hardcore guy, you know what I mean? And shout out my man Predator H2O. He said Halo Wars 2. And again, I'm not into RTSs, and most console guys are not. I'm not in. You know, I don't care for on a console, but it is what it is. The first one was huge because they had the name Halo on it, but the second one kind of bombed. You know what I mean? Halo Wars sales wise, it was doing like net 2 numbers. But it's not so much a sellable. With the trailers, whatever they showed, looked appealing to me. Looked better than Sea of Thieves. You know what I mean? Looked better than Voodoo Vince. You know what I mean? You understand what I'm saying? Looked better than Crackdown, in my honest opinion. You know. Now, Forza Horizon 4, I'm gonna like. I know it's gonna probably look beautiful and all. You know, take advantage of the X and all that good stuff. But outside of that, I've never really been a big Crackdown guy. You know what I mean? To be honest with you, but you know, it is what it is. Hold up, Carlos Fernandez says shit. Scalebound would have been a better choice at this point. But as we'll get that joint back in the lineup. You ain't lying about that, man. You know. And I was interested in Scalebound, but that got, you know, I like hack and slashes, but it is what it is, you know. But my man said, you know, that that Sony sold me on hopes and dreams. Great, and no matter how great, I used to tease the Sony guys. I'm greatness awaits. You ain't lying, nigga. They didn't wait and they did deliver. Greatness awaits, man. Hold on. I think I lost my man. You there, Kratos?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you know what I mean? So, like I said, it is what it is. Like I said, Scalebound, Scalebound was great to me. I liked it, you know what I mean? But
look, even if they offer you, you know, people want to say walking simulators and everything like that. All right, let's go with that narrative, right? That is still yet another exclusive that Sony offers to its fans that are, you know, in the game most likely going to be in the 90s, just like the bulk of the games that they're coming out with. These games review high, they rate high, and they are good quality. That's part of the process, right? That's part of the problem for Microsoft. Their games are not, I'm not going to say all of them, but some of them lately have not been of high quality.
Yeah.
And it seems like Sony put, again, you may say they're walking simulators, but you got to realize Sony, you know, they dab in the movie industry, right? So a lot of their game are cinematic because that's what they do. Sean Layden said that at PSX. He said, look, our third-person story-driven narratives are what we're experts at. That's what we do. We're not going to change that. And guess what? Whether you like The Last of Us, the Uncharted's, the Days Gone's, and the rest of those games, they sell. They sell high volumes. They look at the freaking Horizon Zero Dawn. They had a studio that was known for making mediocre shooters in Killzone, and they turn around and crank out a game like that. Now, that game there by far craps on anything that Microsoft probably has delivered this generation, just that one game. But they're giving you multiple versions of those games. And then the Spider-Man, they're working the deals on the Spider-Mans and the theme consoles, and they're able to do the VR and give you all these experiences in game. This stuff has to add up to something. You can't keep saying all this stuff is just crap. You can't keep calling it crap Jap and just, you know, and all this other stuff. Come on. You have to be honest here, guys. This is a lot of content, and it's a lot of stuff that I think the Xbox could do with on their side. I'm just being real.
All right. Well, I guess how they did kick Hardy off. I don't know, ain't in my business, man. Listen, man. Hey, you always said I want to say, like, you know, anyone would ask, like my issues with them and you know what I mean, beyond gaming. Things were said that you can never take it back. Anybody about no game, by no Xbox, PlayStation stuff, certain things you just don't say, you know what I mean? And it is what it is. But hey, man. But listen, I'm gonna say this: the reason why they act up on each other, that's why I left those jokers alone, man. I'm saying that shit back then. Yeah, like, it's always been like that. And now there's more people see it, but it's always been like that. You know what I mean? Like, just like if you my man or whatever, I ain't certain things you just don't say. You know what I mean? We were, you know, I thought we were friends, but it is what it is. So I digress. But thank you all for rocking out with me today. If you did, I just seen someone just flash on the screen. I don't want to miss it. But I didn't listen to my money. That was Carlos Fernandez. All right. Yeah, but you know what I mean? Thank you for rocking out today with me. I'm giving you guys a podcast every damn day. If you're just joining the show, take it back to the beginning. We talked about the PlayStation 5 when release date, games that are coming out for it day one. So you can go back and check that. And I catch you guys tomorrow. I'll probably live stream. No way I gotta finish that. And I'm also playing Tomb Raider. Getting ready to put myself in the mood for God of War. But I'm out of here, man.
Peace.